welcome back to Brick City. This is the Real Charlemagne, your host. Uh, Today we got a special guest, special family. They've been through a lot, but before we get to them, I want y'all to go ahead and hit that like, share button, and follow me on all platforms, which is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, I got TikTok. Yeah, I shouldn't be up there, but I'm there. And then go follow me on our podcast and also on Spotify. So you can listen to this show. But today we have the Moses family, breast cancer survivor family. We got April and Charles. April, I went to school with her, small town called Aden, high school Aden Grifton. I'm just recently meeting Charles. They have a good story. How y'all doing out there?
We're doing good.
Great.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Can't complain. So, Charles, I like to introduce the man first, the man of the house. Charles, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your journey. Don't give too much yet, but just a little bit about your journey with April and her dealing with the breast cancer.
Okay. Well, I am a postal carrier for the United States Postal Service. Me and April have been together now going about 5 years now, in which we're been dating, as you already know, with with breast cancer, going through that. Strangest thing that our families were been best friends for years, and we had no clue of each other until after my marriage was over, her marriage was over, and then it has happened to be where we meet up.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ironic that her mom and my mom were like best friends, and I had no idea that she had a daughter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She didn't know anything about me.
Uh-huh.
But I knew her dad, and I preached at her dad's church.
Mm-hmm.
And still never seen April.
Wow.
Something. It's crazy because his parents actually went with me with my first husband to Jamaica for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Close to February, and we never knew about each other.
Never crossed paths.
Never. Wow. This wasn't meant at the time. Things that I go through and had to experience, the same way things she had to go through and experience, so we'd be right for each other.
Right.
And
right.
What made it, as we go into our story, even more powerful, because if it happened prior or sooner than what it did, I don't think we would have been, able to support each other and give each other what we needed. But after experience in life, it made us even more stronger to get the support that's needed and to stand there beside it, as a spouse, to stand there and make sure, hey, we're not going to leave until we leave together.
Right. That's a blessing. Now, April, how you doing? Let's tell the audience a little bit about yourself and when were you diagnosed?
Okay. I'm April Daniels Moses. I'm 44. I'll be 45 in December. And I was diagnosed with breast cancer April 23rd of 2021. My mom was also diagnosed at the age of 42. She told me the day after I graduated from high school in 97. But we were told that it wasn't through genetics, and so chances of us getting cancer were very slim. So I really didn't think that I could get cancer. And what was happening is once I met Charles, and do they know you by Keith or Charlemagne?
Charlemagne. Charlemagne.
Very stubborn, and I'm very opinionated, and I really don't listen to people. But when I started dating Charles, he's so easygoing, and it made it hard for me to be as tough as I normally am. He actually softened me where I would listen to people. And so the doctor told me I had to go get a breast exam, I told him, I said, I'm not taking off work to go do that. I ain't going to that mess. I ain't got cancer. And so I was adamant I wasn't going. And he actually took off work. At this time, he was working for Cumberland County in Fayetteville, down there. And so I'm not going. And I was really stubborn. And so he put up that day and he said, you're going, let's go. And so I went and got the exam. And it just so happened is the day that they called me and told me that I had to come back for a biopsy is the day that Dee passed.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to help Terry with that. And they sent me for a biopsy. And a week later, the results came back that I had breast cancer, not in one, but both breasts. Wow. And the cancer I had was HER2 positive, meaning that it's extremely aggressive. And the doctor said if I had waited until November, I would have been dead because it was just that aggressive. And so I say all the time, God brought Charles at the right time, because if I hadn't fallen in love with him and softened myself, nobody would have been able to get me to go to that doctor's appointment. And it would have been nothing they can do after November. And so what started off with at ECU with me thinking it was just a lump in one breast and in my ductal area in the other, no, I had 4 lumps in one the size of a lime.
Wow.
And so ECU missed all of that. We didn't even find this out until I got to Duke when I was trying to have my surgeries. Right. So if I ever switched to Duke, I probably would be dead because ECU didn't see any of that.
Wow. So, wow, that's definitely powerful right there. So with that, what initiated the initial exam for you to say, hey, it might be something going on? It's something a little different. Why do I need to go to the doctor? What was that initial exam like? I mean, what initiated it in yourself to say, I need to go to the doctor?
Oh, I normally go every year to the doctor, but I never had a mammogram before because in my mama said, oh, it's not hereditary. So I was like, I don't do anything. I don't drink. I don't smoke.
Right.
I walk every day. So I'm like, I'm trying to live healthy. So there's nothing wrong with me. And when I went, they took my blood, and my blood which was high, extremely high. But my doctor didn't. My numbers was off. She just told me to go and get a breast exam. So I knew, but she didn't tell me my numbers was high. So she just said, I need you to go get a breast exam. And I was like, what? And she said, you had one before? I said, no. She said, yeah, I'm gonna send you for one. And she said it casually. I guess not
to startle you too much. Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I told Charles, I was like, I ain't going. I said, no. And so I was going off, I feel great. I feel fine. Nothing was wrong, just a little sleepy sometimes.
Right.
And so saying something was wrong, I literally had not one symptom. Nothing changed with my breast. You couldn't feel, because they were so, couldn't feel any of the lumps. They never were hurting. I had no signs.
Got you. Oh, so Charles, so it's like you was, I'm glad. Look, I'm glad that you was able to persuade her. I've been knowing this young lady a long time, and yeah, I seen that stubbornness.
Right. And day of, he said, "I'm not going in." I said, "Yes, you are."
Right.
Go in, and then because that was, we all know COVID was going on.
Right.
COVID precautions. Couldn't have the extra people couldn't be in the place. So I said, wait out here. You can go in.
Right.
And I'm going outside this parking lot until you come out.
Okay.
And eventually she said, all right. And she went in. I guess they hushed me up.
Right.
And that she did, because we would never.
Yeah. So when she's getting all these results back, emotionally, how's that weighing on you? Because I already know how it could be detrimental to the person that receiving the information. But from your standpoint, how was that affecting you mentally? Because like I said, a lot of times you say the C word, you automatically, unfortunately, that's the way our mind works. We automatically put somebody in the grave. Honestly, just being realistic. So how did you maintain and handle that process when you getting this information from April?
Well, considering I was present with her when she got the phone call and when I was getting the results, it was very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But like I told April, we were brought together for a reason.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't know the reason until after we experience something. And then we look back on it and say, you know what, that's the reason why we were together.
Right.
Or that's why certain things didn't work out the way we wanted to work out, or certain things had to work out a certain way. I told her from the very beginning, I said, God put us together. I said, I don't know why, but He has a plan for us.
Mm-hmm.
That we would have seen each other before then.
Right.
Because literally our parents for like 40 years, they would have seen each other. I would have seen her.
Right.
And I
Wow.
went up to Aiden plenty of times.
Right.
Like I said, I preached at her daddy's church several times.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen this girl.
Right.
I actually seen her two sons before I saw her.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And had no idea that this beautiful woman was there in Aiden under wraps.
Look, waiting on you, right?
To meet her.
Yeah.
And I really feel that God had prepared me mentally,
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you come out of a horrible divorce,
Right.
you get a tough skin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But at the time hearing that bad news, I heard almost the worst news you ever could hear
Mm-hmm.
during the breakup, that I was a little, I guess, more calloused,
Gotcha.
where the news didn't faze me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm making a decision what I'm going to do after I heard the news.
Right.
How am I respond?
Mm-hmm.
And because I knew God put us together, my decision was, you know what? I'm going to be here with you to the end.
Gotcha.
I'm going to go with you to wherever appointments you got to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll tell you, I took off work, even went to the whole FMLA paperwork with my job, so I could be off anytime she needed. If she didn't feel well, all she did was give me a call, and I left.
Right.
And I would drive, because I was living in February time, so I was driving close to 2 hours.
Right.
Come to check on her. I did whatever she had to do, and I was there every weekend to make sure she was all right, because the ball was already rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go ahead and grab, say the bull by the horns,
Right.
or it's going to drag the way it wants to go.
Right. So, April, knowing that you had the support, and then now you're getting the news, and psychologically, how did that affect you initially? When you got the news about breast cancer, and then the type of cancer that you had, psychologically, how did that affect you in the initial shock and everything? Can you just share a little bit? Look, don't get too emotional, but I know it's tough, but you could, it's okay.
Well, the thing when how they have my chart.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they didn't want to tell me I had cancer. Everybody was going it on somebody else. This person didn't want to. I got to wait for. So I kept saying something is wrong. There's a reason why none of these people want to talk to me. Mm-hmm. So I opened up my chart, and they messed around and put it in there before they told me what was going on, and I happened to see it. And I went back 10 minutes later, and it was gone.
Wow.
And I was trying to screenshot it and show it to my mom and say, Mama, this is saying I got cancer. This is what it's saying. And so Ma said, maybe they took it out for a reason, wait for me being so. I was like, I'm not waiting for a doctor. Somebody gonna talk. I finally got a doctor on the phone, and she said, I did not want to tell you this. And she told me that I had breast cancer, and not one, but both breasts. Mm-hmm. And like you said, the first thing I thought was, oh God, I'm crying. How in did this happen to me? I don't bother nobody. I try to stay to myself. I don't drink. So I'm going through, God, I have done all the stuff that you asked me to do. I have changed my life completely around.
Right.
Why now when I'm on this good track? And before I can even get myself worked up to think any more any more negativity, God said, I didn't put you through this. This isn't a curse. This isn't something you like that you did that was wrong. I need you to go through this so that you can help other women go through this. He said, so this test is going to be hard. This test is going to be rough. But when it's over, you're going to be able to tell women how to get through this story, how to get through this test in this valley. And once I heard that, no negativity was I accepting. And I'm talking about they try to hit me with negativity. Every time we turn around, they was hitting me with something different. Because I got diagnosed with diabetes the same day I got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, so they hit me with two things at one time. And so my mom was angry because she thought, why is my daughter going through this? The same, did I do this? Was it really me? You know, and they did a genetic test and they said it still isn't genetic. So but my sister, I'm like, I need you to go every 3 months because you're 42 and we're not taking any chances.
Right.
And so it plays on your mind. If you don't have a strong mind, it will beat you down. Because there were times I would look at my children, and that was my real source of strength other than Charles and my family. I knew, okay, I didn't want them to see me in these states, but they were determined that they were to see me in these states. It was times they would come in the focus, and I'll be laying flat down on the floor. I had passed out. They would have to get me off the floor. There were times I couldn't walk. They would have to carry me. And I mean, from me watching me lose 90 pounds in about 6 months, I went to Vidant 6 times, and they put me on the hospice floor every time, expecting me to die. Wow. And every time he came with me, and he said, "You're walking out when I walk out," which means I didn't have a choice but to fight. Right. He's saying he's not leaving without me. And so I fight through this. And I mean, sometimes they would have 25 different bags of medication lined up, get me, my body back to where I can start fighting again. And then one time my levels went so far down that they had to put me in a little room, a little square room where nobody could enter. Because because my number was so low. If I came into contact with someone and they had anything, a cough would have killed me. Wow. And it was because of the chemo. I mean, that chemo is... Yeah, I heard it's tough. Yeah. Right. But God had already told me, I'm taking you through it. And he already said I had to go through every symptom. I had every single side effect of every single medication. Duke said they have never seen anybody like me in their life to have every single symptom. And I told them, y'all don't understand. God has me doing this. This isn't something I'm doing. This isn't something y'all doing. God said I have to do this so that I can help everybody. And in order for me to help any woman that comes to me, I have to know what they're going to go through. Right. And so when I say each one, I took it. I came out, whether I was walking, whether they was pushing me out, I came out. And so psychologically, I never, with my mama being strong-minded, she didn't even let people who talk negative stay around me. If you didn't have encouraging words, she pushed you away. If you came to me crying, she pushed you away. My mom made me stay at her house. I had to move out of my apartment because she didn't want people coming by with negativity. She didn't want her to see me and they be there trying to take care of me because Charles was gone the first year. And so I stayed with my mom and dad, and they monitored who had, you know, the right to see me. And they just didn't let that negativity anywhere around me. And I know that helped me out a lot psychologically, because once you get in the realm of, oh, this is hard. Oh, I ain't gonna make it. First, I ain't gonna make it is gonna set you up for failure.
Right.
Once you can't make it mentally, your body is gonna follow. And so in those moments, I cry a little bit and I go, oh no, you messing with the wrong one. You got something. And I got tough. And so I psychologically, I went with positivity.
Right.
I positivity. I smiled when I see people. I gave hugs, the whole nine. I didn't let cancer think it was gonna beat me.
Right. Right.
So we had to protect her from herself, because as she said, somebody wanting to hug her, you can't be hugging everybody when you fighting cancer.
Right.
So she was like, okay, they couldn't hug her. So maybe another time, but right now, you can't do all that.
You had to be the FBI, the CIA agent, right? Security.
Make sure she was covered.
Secret Service, Secret Service.
Your parents were there, every day in the week. So I came every weekend, and during the summer I came like on Friday. I'll leave like Thursday night or Thursday, so help relieve them, because they still have to live too.
Right.
Their parents, they are extra involved in the community, in the church, and no one seems to understand. This is one of the things that, and I'm sure you probably know it, but no one really understands that you're so involved in other things that you see life, and things happen in your life.
Right.
You got to take things within your life. They think that they're always going to be available. No, they got to deal with their something going on in their family. They got to deal with their family issues.
Exactly.
I try to make sure I was there for them as well, and give them a break. And then, as you said, that first year, I was there every weekend. I slept on the couch, make sure she was, she took care of. But then, eventually, we said, you know what, this is too much.
Right.
I moved to Greenville.
Okay.
And we put apartment, and we stayed there to make sure she was all right, make sure everything she needed was taken care of.
Okay, sounds good. Now you see, now we talk about the mental. So Charles, this is directed towards you. So you see the frailness of this woman you met. How long before? Maybe like a year or two before she was diagnosed.
Yeah.
You see this woman from this point to this point. Her body just is. Like you said, she lost 90 pounds. Psychologically, how did that affect you? Like, I know you got God's strength, but we still of the flesh.
Right.
How did you stay strong for April?
Well, I'm gonna be honest
about the apartment. You lived in. You remember?
It's
Okay, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna let him.
Okay.
He, like you said, he was strong. Every time he came to me, he was strong.
Right.
He never let me see him down at all. He always had that I'm in charge.
Right.
Everything is fine. And then one weekend he decided to let me go and visit him at his home in Fayetteville. And he's a very clean person. Like he clothes in a certain spot, everything, neat. And when I got there, the whole house was in a mess. And so I said, there's dishes in the sink, clothes on the floor. And so I said, when you come home, you break down. And he says, when he comes home, that gives him the chance to just take everything that he just went through with me and release it. And so that's when I knew what I was doing was really, really bothering him.
Right.
But now I'm tell.
Okay.
She is correct. I cannot deny it. It manifests in a way in which normally, if you don't know the individual, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't realize it. Especially when you deal with the public and you're in the public a lot. We know how to put the face on,
right?
So no one sees it. But when you home alone, that's when either you got to find some type of outlet.
Right.
And I'm so thankful for April that even when she was going through, especially the beginning part of the cancer diagnosis, she was there. You gotta find an outlet. You gotta find something that that you can do.
Right.
I had my friends I played with online. I would talk to them
Mm-hmm.
as a one. So and that was an outlet for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to have a support system.
Right.
And that also showed me that even as I was dealing with things, that means the boys were dealing with things as well.
Right.
They may not have said anything. They may not have, but they still was trying to process the fact that their mom is battling breast cancer.
Right.
Their mom is taking these treatments.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad, of course, they all they're superhuman.
Right. Right.
But when you have at that point 14 and 15-year-old boys who are so used to mom being a super mom
Right.
and always being there, it took a lot out of them as well.
Right.
So that allowed us to focus.
Mm-hmm.
First, being transparent with myself, seeing how it affected me, and I know it was affecting them. So open up the lines of communication so that way they can talk about it, they can share how they're feeling. We couldn't shield them from everything.
Right.
Some things that we could shield them from, we try our best to. So that way, process so much.
Right.
But we also was there to answer their questions, answer their concerns, and let them know mom's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome, man. And like you said, I appreciate your transparency. Letting people know we do have a support in God, and we do have a support with our neighbor, but we still are the flesh, and
Right.
and we gonna have moments of vulnerability internally where we just got to be like, just what I'm saying. You gotta hit a wall. You gotta let it out sometime. And man, I appreciate your transparency because some people sit up here with a chest stuck out like, it didn't bother me, and I'm like, dude, at some point, man, something's gonna hit you, one way or the other. It's sometimes it's not that chin check. Sometimes it's that gut punch.
Right.
They take you to the ground. You know what I'm saying? You might have a strong chin, but that gut punch, you like, you know. But yeah, so I know you guys mentioned the boys. Let's talk about the boys for a second. I know you came in the picture. You said the boys is already a little older, Charles, when you met April. But coming into the relationship, being that step parent. I've been a step parent before, and then having to deal with the boys and be that father when April not able to be that mother. How did that dynamics between you two? How do you guys keep that intact as well? Because you're battling a bunch of issues health wise, but then you're dealing with teenagers, which I already know how that operates. You know what I'm saying? So how did y'all manage that with the ailing wife and you being the new kid on the block per se? You know what I'm saying? How did y'all manage that? And look, whichever one want to start this.
Often, we let April chime in. I will say this, and I'll say it to anybody. I am very thankful for their father, Peter. He was very supportive. When I was there to help take care of April and take care of the boys in his transition. He gave me 100% support.
Okay.
So anything that I needed, if if the boys want to be unruly or whatever, he will help get them in line. So we co-parent, and I'm thankful we've done an excellent job because I don't think they give me too much trouble.
Gotcha.
I love them. I love them to death. I love both of them.
Right.
But I will say he has made the job very easy.
Gotcha.
So because there is no challenge. And the way he views it, and I'll view it the same way. It takes a village to especially raise a man.
Right.
And when he may not be there physically, he's still there supporting the decisions that are being made because he knows I'm looking out for the best interests.
Gotcha. Well, that look,
easier for us
yeah.
to be supportive. And he also will call. I mean, he still calls. Hey, how's everything going?
Mm-hmm.
How's April? And we talk, and everything's fine. Make sure the boys are fine. That they have an outlet. They have multiple outlets that they can fill and share whatever
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's truly a blessing right there. A lot of people can't have that co-parenting thing, and like you said, I think if a lot of people would follow that suit, the world would be a better place. You just figure out how to co-parent. So April, you had it going on. You got everybody on your team. Everybody coming to make sure that you're good. That's awesome. And so that took a lot of pressure from you in your healing process. You didn't have all the extra dramas and things that most people have to face.
Right. Well, for some reason, God really loves me because He gave me two sons
Mm-hmm.
that they've never been on punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've never been in any type of trouble in school.
Mm.
Students, they like their manners are wonderful. Like I couldn't ask for two better children.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say it's because of the communication. I've always been really, really honest and open and told them they can always come and
Right.
talk. But as far as Charles, they wanted Charles as a daddy faster than daddy. Charles wanted probably sons. They were ready to have a dad in the house. I
Awesome.
mean, they welcomed him. They even told me if I did something wrong, I could go. They stand with Charles. That's how much they're like, we're gonna go with whoever's right. If you wrong, we stand with Mr. Charles. They have loved him from day one.
That's
And
good.
the fact that I think me and my parents really pushed, you're gonna respect adults and
Right.
you stay in your place and we're gonna, allow you to be yourself, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna just be out here doing anything. So they really haven't given us too many problems. So when Charles came for them, it was he's taking care of mommy. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna love him more now and respect him even more now
Right.
because he takes care of mommy. Even with me going to the hospital and being in there 2 weeks, they could never come upstairs because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
they knew, okay, Mr. Charles, we're gonna trust that you're gonna bring our mommy home.
Right.
And every time they trusted him, they would walk me to the car, put me in the car, and they send me with Mr. Charles. And so they knew, and they'll call and say, Mr. Charles, you got your food here. Well, Mama's bringing you food. Roro's bringing you food, So,
Right.
and so they just made sure. And when we're home, when we're resting, when I had the treatments, they knew he was tired from being up with me. So they took care of both of us. Every
Wow.
minutes they will come in and say, Mr. Charles, you need anything? Mommy, you need anything? And on the nights or the days he had to work, they both took Hunter, sat with me in the daytime during the
Mm-hmm.
summer. They sat with me all night. So they took 12 hours apiece to make sure I was fine and I was taken care of. Like when I say my support team was phenomenal,
Mm-hmm.
they all were phenomenal when it came to making sure my needs was met as a family.
Gotcha.
And so I appreciate them, but they do have triggers one day because my hair still hasn't grown out. And so one day I was walking in the house and I just threw on a hospital gown because I got hot. And I
Oh.
right. And so me thinking, oh, I'm just chilling at the house. But when Chase saw me, it triggered him. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me having cancer. And I looked in his face and I said, what's wrong? He said, Mommy, take that off. Please take that off. And I realized I can't just throw on a hospital gown and no hair and walk around
Right.
because it's gonna,
Yeah.
take him when I was really sick. And so little things like that I try not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know even though they were super strong, they have triggers. And,
Right.
I don't want them to be reliving what we've already been victorious in.
Yeah. Speaking of triggers, I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Okay.
We look, Charles, one of her boys was about to be born in the cafeteria with me taking her to the emergency room. I was working at the hospital at that time. I think it was the youngest one.
Yeah, Chase.
The youngest one. And I said, dude, don't come out on me right now. Give me about 5 more minutes. We don't get labor and delivery. So that was that was just a trigger for me talking about her sons, because like I said, I remember one of them was in the carriage in the emergency room when they came in, and she like, I ain't gonna make it. I said, yeah, you are. You gonna make it. You gonna make it. Look, we was by the cafeteria. She's talking about, I ain't gonna make it. I said, you gonna make it today. I said, I'll give 5 more minutes. What they say, Lord, don't look, Lord, feet don't fail me now. I think that's probably the fastest I got from the emergency room to L&D ever. I think I ran a 4 flat that day. I would have beat prime time that day. Cause she let out that holler. We got to that cafeteria. I'll never forget. I said, man, we got to get you to this L&D quick. But yeah, I'm glad you know the experience been good for you guys with, you know, with the support, you know, the ordeal. I can't even imagine, because I never been through that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I just kudos to both of you. You know, just going through that and enduring and able to come here and share your story, because like you said, you know, it's a testimony, but your testimony is going to help somebody else get through their test. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I appreciate you guys coming through here, telling a little, you know, telling a little bit what you're going on. So, April, the big question:
Okay.
are you cancer free now?
Absolutely. I am cancer free. I've been cancer free since November the 22nd. November the 22nd. I've been cancer free.
Big clap, big clap, big clap. Look, I don't have a clap machine, but we could clap in person. Awesome. So
I went for my blood work about a month ago.
Okay.
And blood work was good.
Okay.
Everything was perfect. And so I don't have to have any more tests for another 6 months. Okay. And I know it's kind of scary for people who have been in remission to go and get those tests to see if you're still cancer free. Because honestly, out of the people that I know, I'm the only one right now who cancer hasn't come back.
Wow.
But when I went in and they told me I had cancer, I said, cut them off, cut both the breasts off, because my mom it came back 7 times.
Oh, wow.
Because she kept taking a lump. They were doing the lumpectomy.
Yeah.
And they just go in and take out where they think the cancer is. And then back in 2 years, and guess what? Oh, we didn't get it all. So now we have more. And so I was not going to put myself through that. I said, cut them off. I said, they can't kill me anyway, so I don't even need them.
Right.
That was in November when they cut them completely off. And so the doctor came, she said, guess what? You're cancer free. And I said, okay, so, but during that time, they tried to die. They said they thought I had thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
And I had to get a biopsy for that one. And they diagnosed me with probably 20 different things during the time I had chemo.
But every time I went to the doctor, there was something else.
Wow. So was that from the reactions of the chemo? Was that so everything that was going on after was reactions from the chemo?
Right. And there was misdiagnosing the symptoms, because she had all the side effects from all the medicines. When you have all the side effects, the average doctor, and I'm on, just no harm against the doctors, because they learn, they do what he's supposed to do. They look at what is the most prominent side effect.
Right.
It's normal. But when you have an individual like April, who is special and all by herself, she had all the symptoms. So seeing the symptoms, well, this symptom goes with this symptom goes with that. But it was just symptoms from the medicine.
Right. All of it. I mean, my arm was paralyzed at one point because of the chemo. I was in the hospital for that. And I mean, when I say everything from mouth sores to my skin peeled off, I my heart started dying. Like the medicine was so strong, I had to start, and I still had to see a heart doctor to make sure I think my heart is at 50% now.
Oh wow. So while we on this right now, could you explain a little bit about chemo and just a day of how that, that process? Can you tell them about that a little bit real quick?
Sure. You go in and they take your labs first to see what's going on with your blood, to see if you got enough potassium and magnesium, everything. And so after that, you to a machine. Here is my port.
Okay.
And they put this in, and what it is, so I don't have to get stuck by a needle every time I go to the doctor. They just stick the needle in here. But this line from here all the way, you see that line right there on my neck?
Okay.
It's in here.
Okay.
So when you stick for chemo, they stick the needle in here, and then at first I started with 8 hours of chemo.
Wow.
And it's 4 different medicines that I would have to be on. They give you a Benadryl just in case you're allergic, and you can't run them together. So if one of them is for 45 minutes, they run one medicine, then they run another one, and then another one. The thing is, on that day, and they pump you full of fluid, so you be really, really swollen.
Right.
But you don't get the side effects doesn't happen for 3 days. So leave that day, you're fine. It's that third day is when your stomach gets extremely nauseous. And you're literally up every probably 10, 15 minutes, you're throwing up. You can't eat. You're sleeping. My eyesight, I almost went blind. That was from the chemo. Couldn't walk. The bottom of my feet I lost every single fingernail and toenail. Like the whole nail bed came completely off my hand.
Wow.
As far as my insides, oh Lord, they messed my insides all up. Like the chemo just literally just killed the insides of my. When I went for my surgery, what was supposed to take 8 hours took 18 because my body was so damaged, and they were having to find veins and arteries that were able to be used because everything in me was so damaged from the chemo. Chemo is very, very, very hard on a body. And they gave me one called Taxotere. And when that taxes you, because it literally is like one of the strongest chemos you can take. And literally, I think it would start at my feet, and it would take about 2 weeks for it to run its course through my body, because I had to do it every 21 days. So my feet would be hot, and then you can tell where the chemo was killing whatever up my body, and whatever part of the body was at, that part of my body was extremely hot. And so when I got to my head would be so hot that I could melt like a bag of ice in like 2 minutes.
Wow.
We literally had to put ice in bags and put it on her head to try to cool it down. They had the ice, we had the freezer, we was rotating.
Right.
We had the ice packs, warm freezer, while one's on her head, and that was melting, we switching, and that was going on constantly.
Headaches, horrible head. I mean, couldn't stand. I would stand up, fall right over. He was catching. He should have had a little cord on me or something, because I would fall down the steps. I mean, it was like I couldn't see. I'm blurred. My head is hurting. No, I couldn't eat. I couldn't walk. It was just like a whole bunch of cake, but I'm smiling.
Wow. Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's serious, man. I did, like I said, I'm glad you here to share it with me, because I'm learning a lot too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot, and so you said it was every 21 days. For how long? What was the length of period of time did you have to endure this?
I had to do 6. Well, they told me it was 6 treatments of
Okay.
chemo.
Okay.
And so you go every 21 days. But what I didn't is it was just 6 treatments of that Taxotere.
Right.
I still had chemo for a whole another year, and I had no clue. I didn't even know I was still on chemo, but I was still really sick. And I was like, what's going on? Y'all said, I wouldn't be sick. After this, that's when the whole, well, most people don't get sick off of this chemo drug, but you happen to still get every symptom. So it didn't matter that they took me off the Taxotere. The Herceptin was kicking my butt. The Perjeta was kicking my butt. All of it was kicking my butt. So, and I've been in it for 21 days since. I've not stopped my 21 days yet. I'm still every week, every 3 weeks I go for treatments. And now I'm just down to, it's called a Lupron shot. And what that does is take all the estrogen out of my body, because my cancer was estrogen based. And as long as I have estrogen in my body, the cancer can't grow back. And that's important for people to know what type of cancer they have and what feeds their cancer, because you can't go, oh, well, mine is sugar related. Because some people think sugar gives them cancer. I could eat all the candy I want. That would have affected me. But if I had estrogen in my body, that's what would have killed me.
Wow.
And my birth control, that's what started it. When I got on birth control after Chase, clue that they were putting extra estrogen in my body. That's what made the cancer so, and it fed it so fast, because I had all that estrogen from the what was it UID
IUD. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so once I said take it out, and I said I'll tell any female, don't get on birth control, because I had no clue that doing that was putting more hormones in my body, and that's what triggered my cancer. It was like I was what cancer drained, and anybody has that cancer who has birth control, that's the cancer's dream. You're gonna feed it. Yeah. So now I just
definitely check. Look, go every 6 months instead of a year if you're on birth control, huh? Man, wow. Yeah, look, we wrapping up on time here, but what I want to do is real quick. I'm gonna start with you, Charles, and I like for you to drop some nuggets to an individual that's going through what you've been through, to help them endure what they're going through.
Okay. The first thing I will always say, if you're part of the support system for someone that's going through something that's as traumatic as cancer, it doesn't actually have to be cancer, it could be anything, but you're part of that support system, always make sure you have an outlet for yourself as well. Because we can pour all we want into the individual, but when you're out of juice and there's nothing left to pour out, you can't pour anything else into them. So you have outlets so that way you can be poured into as well, so you're not running on empty. Because what happens at that point, you start getting a little snappy, little issues here, little things there. You mean well, but your body and your mind has been taxed to the limit. You can't do but so much. Eventually, your body's going to start shutting down, and then you're going to worry about being sick, or you exposable to anything that happened to you. So always make sure you have an outlet for yourself as well, and be open. There's one thing I'm thankful for our relationship that we have with April, where when she came to the house and saw that it was in disarray, and she know that's me. She I keep everything in a certain order. She knew that it was bothering me. She saw the signs. You got to, if you need to take time off, take a week off, or not come on this weekend, it's all right. And she gave me that and told me, it's all right. You don't have to come every weekend. But being the person that I am, I was still there.
Still right.
It was good to know that I wasn't obligated. I didn't have to.
Right.
If I need the time to take a break or a time to get away, I knew I had her support if I need to take that break and then come back.
Right.
Well, it's something I think is very, very important, and that will give the person the strength to go the long haul.
Okay.
Because it's easy to run, quick distance, but cancer or any type of ailment of that nature, that's a marathon.
Right. Right. Right.
You gotta be prepared for long when that second wind come in. You gotta be prepared for when you don't feel you have any energy left. Still got to pick the feet up and put them back down. On, and that's where you have that strength comes from.
Gotcha. Wow. Appreciate that. That was very encouraging, brother. All right, April, your turn. Someone that's going through what you've been through, give them a little nugget.
Okay. If you are battling breast cancer, the first thing I would do is make sure your mental health is where it needs to be. Make sure your relationship with your God is where it needs to be, because you're going to need help spiritually. You're going to need help mentally to fight this thing physically. Never, ever give up on you. Remember that you are worth this fight. You fight this thing and you don't let cancer think that you're scared of it. You stand and you let cancer know, I ain't scared. You ain't gonna run me. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna win this fight. I'm a warrior. I'm not a worrier. You're not gonna do what you want with me. I'm gonna do what I want with you. And be strong. And in those moments that you need to be weak, be weak. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to lay down. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to not even think about cancer for a couple of days, because thinking about it too much, that's going to get you down. Have a life. One thing I did when that chemo hit me and it finally let me go for that 1 week, I had 7 days and I made the best. When I said I did everything I could in those 7 days, if I could eat one grape, I ate one grape. If I went to the park, if I walked, I did something to remind me that I was living and I was still here. I was determined not to sit here and lay down and let this thing beat me. And so I would say fight. If I was going to give you one word, it would be fight.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming up here sharing. It's been an eye opener for myself, like, because some of the stuff I see you guys very transparent on Facebook, but the details you guys sharing today, though, I appreciate that, because that's we can see a picture, but we don't know the details of that picture. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, that's just it's been enlightening to myself, because I've been following you guys' journey throughout Facebook and seeing what's going on, and just you guys' transparency and encouragement to others. I definitely know it's going to help someone somewhere in this audience and across the nation. But hey, salute to you guys. I thank you a bunch for coming out here and sharing your story, because a lot of people going through it, and a lot of people, like you said, they don't have a Charles in their life, and they don't have the fight that you have, April. And it's like, you guys can be that they could just listen to this testimony, and then they're like, well, I don't have them personally, but these two pushing me through. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for coming. And then man, look, I'm about speechless, but but I'm about to end this show. But yeah, as I'll always say, people, hey, look out for each other in the community, take care of each other. Hey, before I go I gotta say RIP to my boy Gene. I miss you, brother. It's been a tough month without you, but we still striving. I'm still here, brother. But I'm the Real Charlemagne. Don't forget to support me on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram. You can listen to the show on Spotify and iTunes podcast, and then also you could watch it on YouTube. So Hey, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Till next time, this is the Real Charlemagne, Brick City. Peace.